Interdimensional travel for the DL with Devin and Lisa provided by Limited Intel. Limited Intel, with their no anal fee, you can rest assured that your data is in incompetent hands.
I don't understand about the Tridactyl thing. I don't understand how we find skeletons of like humanoid type things, and because we're looking for the missing link between us and the mammal that we evolved from, right? And we're totally down to be like Neanderthals, fuck yeah, little pygmy type people, fuck yeah. And the thing, why, if we find the mummified remains of a reptilian, are we just like no, it can't be it? It just makes no sense. Like, it actually,
you know what? That's true, because we find dinosaurs all the time. We just accept that shit. Oh yeah, that's what that species is you just found. That
humanoid. Something about us is like, no, that can't be real. It's like, dude, everything points to the ship being real. And also, humans have been around how long?
750 or something like that at the moment.
Is it really?
They keep pushing it back, yeah.
Regardless, the world is billions of years old. Right. So there was literally could have been time on this earth for something to evolve and then fail or move underground or whatever. Like, that's evolve into smartness and then evolve into like going on. Like, there was time. I don't understand why people are like, huh?
If our civilization as it stands today existed at the time of T-Rex, there would be no evidence.
What would be left?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Even our nuclear waste would have, the half-life would have destroyed all that. Nothing.
Well, dude, I'm going to sound so stupid, but I didn't really know what fossils were until recently. And I realized, I thought we found dinosaur bones. Literally.
Oh, like they're actually the bones? Not just
like they were the bones. I didn't realize that it was the carbon footprint of a bone. Yeah. So the for a fossil
changed, right?
It has to be perfect circumstances. Like most things just evolved. The reason that the fossils exist is because they were trapped. Oh my God, I'm going to butcher this, right? And then like the carbon went away and something else filled in that space. And that's what we find is like that mineral that filled in the space that was like it has to be perfect. So that's the reason that we don't see millions of them, right? So it's like, why would it be that crazy that we wouldn't find? There's so much shit we obviously don't know. It's just so silly to me to think that we know so much that it just couldn't exist. It's crazy. That's crazy.
So it has to be like perfect circumstances for them to like be fossilized and stuff like that. So it's not everyone.
No.
What if like we do taxidermy now of those animals? What if those are the fossils that people or a civilization or whatever are going to be finding another couple million years in the future? Maybe the civilization that existed at that time did something with these creature bones that made them susceptible to, or more susceptible to, becoming a rock.
Yeah.
I'm not a rock scientist. I just smoke them.
Like, it would make, like, it's just like how we find the fossils, right? The perfectly preserved remnants, so we don't find all the rest of it. Well, that's the same with these mummies. We are finding the mummified versions. It makes sense why these are the ones we're finding and we're not finding them everywhere else, because these ones were specifically
preserved.
Preserved. It's the whole point. I don't know. You know, the American scientist that went and saw them said that the thing that will convince him that it's, well, first of all, he's very interested. He's like, we need to study these things. He's not. But his thing is like, we need to take DNA from one part of the body and another part of the body and match those. Because that's what people are saying is that it's like basically a doll of bones that people put together.
Let me throw something out at you, Lisa. So they're small in general. I mean, it seems to be like about 5 different types of species of these mummified remains. And I didn't realize that there was like, they had a goddamn warehouse full. When I seen the things of them debunking it all over like media, I was like, okay, there's like 1 or 2 of these things that, you know what I mean? But no, I didn't realize, actually looking into it, that they had like dozens of these things collected from all over the world and had classified them enough to like put them into different species or subcategories of one species. But I throw out there, that perhaps this is what we need to debunk, that the physicists are right, that perhaps that we're ultimately like one of the only planets that is very random, the life that you can find between.
That it's more that consciousness is easier to attain than maybe we thought, right? We thought that we were like consciousness, right? Like, I think most people believe that there could be bacteria or something on another planet or whatever.
Yeah, but not to this level that we have here.
But I think a lot of people, I think that that's the thing that would change everything. It's like not how prevalent is life. I mean, that is also really interesting, but how like is consciousness and like that kind of thing. Like one thing that is really cool.
Well, I'm saying when they came out with that whole UFO thing, that those indeed are not extraterrestrial beings. That those are merely craft, perhaps, of this civilization.
Could be.
They could. I'm not saying the civilization is still around, but it could be a legacy craft, legacy technology from that. It's just like our satellites aren't automatically just going to fall out of the sky as soon as
we're gone.
To a large, I mean, they probably will.
Well,
but there's still going to be evidence of that, of our technology within our trash environments like that that'll last a little while. So perhaps that, even if it is a legacy civilization of like reptile forms.
The von Neumann, I think it's called the von Neumann.
Universal. Oh, so like, yeah.
Have you ever heard of this?
No, but
it's a theory of a self-replicating machine. So a machine that can fix itself and consistently build
updates
for stuff, right? And a lot of people.
I mean, we're not that far away with ChatGPT and stuff like that. You could program that, self-replicating code at this point.
Well, how hard would it be if the materials are available? Imagine use a satellite, right?
Yeah.
So imagine a satellite that built satellites automatically and then launched them. Send them out. That would be an example of that, right?
Yeah.
And it would need any human involvement. It would be able to create the thing by itself, and it would just consistently. And then if humans died out, that thing could just keep.
Yeah, it doesn't know. It's just doing its following along its program. And
so there's a lot of people who think
it would be more cost effective. So I can see how they could do that, like material wise, if it's actually fixing itself and stuff like that.
One theory that I find really interesting and worth pondering is the idea of a von Neumann machine in the ocean, specifically the Bermuda Triangle.
What is it doing? Just disrupting communications, beacon,
making Tic Tacs. You know,
it's making TikToks. It's making TikToks down there.
TikToks.
Damn, is that where they're coming from?
No. So, do you know about the Tic Tacs? The Tic Tacs are a known phenomena. That is a thing. They have released videos from the actual Navy and Air Force seeing the fucking Tic Tacs. We don't know what they are. They are unidentified objects. Well, obviously, the thing people say is that it's probably another country. There's some space, like craft we don't know about that like Russia or China's making. But it is a known phenomenon. These fucking Tic Tac shaped craft that they see that are pretty much always over the ocean is where they see them. And it's Navy people who see them a lot because they're out there in the middle of the fucking Atlantic, and Pacific or whatever. So a theory that I find very plausible is that there could perhaps be some sort of von Neumann machine that could have been there for millions of years, could have been there for however long, that is like taking some sort of resource from Earth and sending it back up. Imagine if we found out that the core of a planet, Mars, was made of something that we use all the time. What's the thing that we love? Cheese. Okay. We find out it's made of cheese. And so we build a machine that is just with no human interaction, just going to pull some cheese out and bring it back to us. And that's just all it's automatically going to do. It's going to mine
futuristic Uber Eats of cheese out of the planet, interplanetary
What if it's a mining thing that's been here for millennia? It could have even been here since before we were here, for all we know.
It's just still doing it.
It's just still doing it.
Yeah. Sending it wherever.
It could be that it's not even aliens. It's like even, I mean, to me, that's more believable than aliens like running it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that far-fetched. Maybe something came here. We're only 750,000 years old. Maybe somebody came here 700,000 years ago. We were just basically in the fucking woods. Like, they're like, whatever, dude, they build their little thing. The natives in the world get to see these weird aliens, like, don't even know. You get fucking weird cave paintings, and that's it. We move on, and legends, and that's it. They move on. And, like, I don't know, like, there's just so many possibilities in that sort of realm. I wish people would open up their minds and not just think either it's little green men or it's not. There's so many options.
Oh, there's so many options. We don't know. That's also the end of the day.
Like, we haven't even talked about octopus people.
Oh, the octopus. Oh, are you familiar with them?
No idea. I just am convinced there's octopus people because
you have not seen. You didn't hear about that?
No.
When they sent that submersible down the shipwreck and they got the footage. It was on fucking CNN and shit, dude. Fucking wild. They're investigating a deep sea wreck, like one of these universities or whatever. It was like somewhere in the Black Sea and somewhere off the Spanish coast.
Where's the Black Sea? Yeah,
I don't know. I hope it's off the Spanish coast. Or I just sound like an idiot. I don't know. Somewhere off of Spain is where they were doing this dive for like this. It was humans couldn't go down there, right? It was just submersibles because of the depths and stuff like that.
Or something? Yeah.
And so they get down to this, and then the sensors, because it's all, they have sensors start going off, and they switch on like the back cameras because they're like at a depth where there's not a lot of sea creatures and stuff like that. They're familiar with the area because they've plotted it and stuff. And they first see one, like, there's fake footage of this, by the way, if you go out and look. So, like, is that a way to like cover up the actual thing that happened? Who knows? But there's like there's very realistic footage that is fake out there that I've seen. I'm like, this is not the original footage I saw originally. Like when the news story first broke, you saw the actual ones, but now when you search, it's just like you can find them still, but there's a lot of like.
Dude, why do you think that cartoon aliens look exactly like the Tridactyls? Do you think it's a fucking mistake? No, it's so that they can make it look. It's so that they can be like, it's a cartoon. Are you fucking serious?
But anyway, so they were unidentified because it was done through a university.
It was like a critter or something.
It was a scouting party, essentially, is what they could guess.
Were they humanoid or were they more?
They were humanoid-ish in a squid way. Not humanoid, I wouldn't say actually at all, but like squid, but like humanoid-ish squid person,
or just like a really evolved-looking squid.
A very evolved-looking, like a because even like they had, like I was saying, it was done by the college, so they had their marine biologists and stuff look at it, and then they pass that on. And everyone's like, they said it was just a new species. Essentially, they're like, we don't know what the species is. Like, this is something we have not. It's like some sort of something. It's something in the squid family, just because of like the ridges and stuff like that. But it was like it denoted a sense of intelligence that they don't necessarily see in species
like that. Squid are kind of,
and they're very intelligent. Just in general, squid are
they? I know what octopi.
Yeah, octopuses are very smart, but
I don't know about squid
because there was one that like brushed across it, and then the cameras turned on, like the back, whatever, aft cameras turned on. I don't fucking know, but they turned on the aft cameras, and they caught, because it was like somewhat in the midnight zone, so they caught glimpses of one quick, and then the silhouettes of two more waiting, and the one came up to them, the other two waiting, the silhouettes, right? And they moved in like a pattern, and then came back, and then like dispersed, like they had communications, Essentially, is what
they were like,
assumed.
check this shit out.
They're like, let's get the fuck out of here and go report this to whatever.
Thing.
And dude, it was, you see the things, you're just like, holy shit, that's a fucking mermaid. Because all of the, even like when it first blasted, they're like, we found mermaids and stuff, like the real life mermaids. Because you know, it's like on actual news networks, so they weren't like going ham on it yet.
Yeah. It was a story of interest. That's
it was a story of interest, of like a new,
not real news, just more like, look at this interesting thing happening.
Yeah, it's crazy new species we found that. Yeah.
So one thing about, are they cephalopods? Is that what it is? The like
what's the like one?
No, but like so octopus and also the other ones. What are the ones we eat that are delicious in the
shrimps, lobsters, fish,
they're little clams that go on the bottom.
Bivalves.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All the bivalves, all the cephalopods, all that shit. So I was looking at a tree of
just a tree. I was just looking at a tree.
I was looking at a tree thinking about something. No, I was looking at
told me.
A tree of when we evolved, evolution, right? So the very first little guy, and then he evolves, and then it splits, right? Yeah. So the split that happened where we go off and they stay over here is before even like bugs, dude.
Oh yeah, because there was no land.
Way long ago. Like we are more related to a banana than we are to an octopus, DNA wise. I'm not even kidding. Like we are closer. Yeah. Plants are all here. Like there's no plants when it breaks off.
Yeah, there's not much going on down there or up here.
Like it's insane. So those fucking creatures, that branch has been around and existing.
Yeah.
Deep ocean. Where we've never gone in reality.
Oh, yeah.
We found the Titanic in our lifetime. That's how little of the ocean we have thing. The Titanic, the most famous thing. We found it like in like the 80s or something, dude. It took forever, or 70s. It took forever to find the most famous shipwreck. So like we have seen nothing.
How long did it take for unchartedness? Because they just found like a couple months ago, they found Amelia Earhart's plane that went down.
They think they did.
They think they did. When did that happen? The 40s?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still a mystery. They think they might have found it. We still don't. No, anything that disappeared. Think about the Malaysia flight.
Oh, yeah. Gone.
And they say they found the wing, but
yeah,
we could talk about that all day long. Anyway. The guy who found the wing happens to have like inside.
Don't worry about it.
It's like he was like an insider with the government. Oh, it's a whole fucking thing, dude. He had somehow found multiple wrecks of missing things before.
I'm very good at finding stuff.
Yeah, apparently he's got ins with the government and he's just very good at finding wrecks that the government happened to lose. And this guy just happens to find them consistently.
He won't show them to you, but he's found them. Trust him.
Yeah, trust him.
Trust me. I found that shit. Can I see it? No.
Anyway, all I'm saying is cephalopods and that whole side of, dude, cephalopod is going to mean like whale, and I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. I'm pretty sure.
Well, check this out. That's what I want to, because during that branch off, talking about evolution, dolphins and shit went back.
Oh, I know.
Those species went back into the ocean. So talking about fucking lifeline or evolutionary lines.
Well, I think about
who knows what the hell's going on down there?
We've never barely even been down there. It could be we are so ill-equipped to go down into the high pressure. It could be that they're extremely ill-equipped to come out of the pressure, and they barely know we.
Except for those little Tic Tacs, they're sending out for them. That's their satellites. For them, that's their satellites, really.
If they even made it.
You know?
If they even made it.
Even if they made
also be that dude, here's a crazy theory. An alien species came here, built the fucking Van whatever machines, and also seeded the deep ocean and seeded the fucking Earth. And we were seeded at the same time with like a life that they knew was gonna whatever, and they fucking built the I don't know. It's been two different critters. It could have been there's so many theories.
We're like Earth, and that's because they say we're in like a weird little bubble. Earth is, which would support like the zoo theory, and like Earth, to put into terms, we're just like the auto flower of the galaxy. They just popped our little seed over here, and they're just like, it's gonna grow. It's getting some great buds on that shit.
They could also be a species that lives 1,000 years every lifetime, and we could be like how we watch strawberries grow and die in one season. They could watch each human life as if it's a blink of an eye to them, and they could find. Do you know what I mean? Like we have to think outside the box.
I think that's optimistic, though. I want to think about it like
I'm very optimistic when it comes to alien space. I'm very optimistic. I watch a lot of Star Trek.
I'm saying if a civilization like we're a seeded world like that, right? We're living in a zoo simulation, whatever, created by, or at least instigated by another civilization of higher degrees. I like to think that they're not even around anymore. They're like, this is gonna be fucking so cool. We're gonna do this shit. Our civilization is gonna last forever. Look how fucking great we are. And it's just like they pop us over here as a little thing, and they just like die out like 2 years later.
Or they like got bored with us at some point and ages, and they were like, this species is going nowhere, and they bailed.
Yeah, they just fucking bailed on us, dude. It's like, this is never gonna happen. It's just fucking this stupid fucking algae for like a fucking million years. I'm not gonna watch this.
You know what?
Throw us out. They got tired of the ant farm.
You know what I truly believe deeply? I believe that there is an alien species, and I use alien very loosely, but there is a species that is a level above us in consciousness, and we are basically, I don't know how to explain it. We are to these aliens what cells are to our body. So the reason that when we do drugs or we sometimes get really deep or meditate, doesn't always have to be drugs, but we meditate and we feel that connectedness is because we all are part of one thing.
I can see that.
Made by a creature that's so much bigger than us. And I believe that we are almost like put here to learn as much as possible. And when we die, we return, like we're just this little snib of consciousness that this other creature basically like birth. It's like when we give birth, we create a whole thing. Like who knows what I don't know. Does that make sense?
I like to think of us within, like we're like what's in the nucleus of a cell. Is our galaxy,
and I think sometimes
or our reality, and then it just keeps going, but it keeps going to a large degree. Because even when you get to the main point of it, would just start again. They're part of this, you know what I mean? So it's definitely.
And think about this: that
would also explain like alternate realities. Because that would just be different cells. It would also explain different spectrums of like the light and stuff like that, because it'd be
interconnectedness that you cannot
deny.
Anybody who has meditated really gnarly, done hallucinogens, really tried to feel it, has felt, and you cannot put it into words, right? The feeling that we are all part of a bigger thing, very interconnected. Like that is, I can't.
That
has to be. But I also don't believe in like souls. I don't believe in like I'm very like, so it's hard to square those. I really think we're part of, you can think of humans almost like a colony or like
what's an energy? I think of us as an energy source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a little bit of energy.
The most basis level.
And our energy like gets some meat. Like we're some meat right now, full of that energy. And when we die, I think that energy does go somewhere. I don't know if it's like, it's not going to retain.
It transfers to, whatever.
Anyway, it's hard to put into words, but that's what I think. It's really what I think about existence. That's what I think we're doing. I think we're here to just gather information and report back.
The jet GPTs of the universe, bro. We're just doing all the simple work.
Yeah.
Right? We're doing all those little algorithms. Think about your brain. Think about, I don't know what, my brain probably don't work like most people's, but there's always like shit going on in there. You know, I got like 50 different narratives running. You know, I got this, I got that.
I set my hand down on this table and I like rub it, and like all these cells in my hand are doing all this work to like feel it and
Yeah.
send all.
Yeah, that's what I'm
all
saying.
the
Like in the
back
processing of the
brain.
brain, and then
So
we're that processor.
am I the sense of some creature that is so far beyond what I can even fathom that I am just one of its senses and I am just
Yeah,
feeling out this world for it, or kind of part of that?
part of it's like the little. You're just like a little weird little. Because there's like billions in our brain. There's like billions of little synapses and shit going on. What if
I
we're
know.
just each one of us is just one of those synapses?
Mhm.
And I guess it would be a simulation because we don't realize that we're a synapse.
Kind of a simulation in that
But
even the whole universe would be part of something way, it would be like
Yeah.
if the Milky Way was then an atom. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are we that? Like, the bigness of the
Within the
universe
brain.
just makes you think that there has to be something beyond it. It can't just be, that can't just be it. Like, it's too much and too big for it not to add up to something. I don't know.
well, here's the thing. So in the universe, there's a point where the universe ends, right? Because light hasn't reached it yet.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Supposedly, right? Think about that.
Well, so many of these models, and I'm
Yeah,
not
I know
going
they're all
to sit here
fucking
and deny
half-ass.
but so many of these models are based on, you got to remember this. They're based on theories from Einstein, who's from the fucking 40s and 50s. That means these theories they're less than 100 years old.
And all of his theories are based on thermodynamics.
And a lot of them have, I'm not saying he's wrong, but there's more. There's more to it.
He would admit
Gotta
he's
be
wrong
more.
to a large degree nowadays. You know what I mean?
Well, in fact, science is looking for what they call the unifying theory because quantum mechanics works nothing like.
No, it doesn't. There's no sense to it. We don't know how we can get an answer, but we don't know how we got the answer.
You don't know.
That's pretty important. Like, you try going to fucking school and be like, no, I got the answer for you. And like, well, can you show the math? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna show you that math.
Yeah. We don't know why like planets and stuff work on a different scale than atoms and why they act differently and like why.
Yeah, why the subatomic?
Gravity is
the same. Yeah. Sorry.
Gravity is supposed to be the most strongest force, right, in the universe, but obviously it's not, because if it were, you and I would go shooting through the Earth to the core right now. What's keeping us from going?
And we couldn't shoot space into space.
It's electromagnetism. It's the space that the magnetism between the atoms that keeps them separate.
Yeah.
It's what keeps our atoms from like smushing into all the other atoms, right? So there is a force.
That buffer. It was the dark matter. That's what it is. I mean, they use that as like a cover-all term for
dark matter. What we don't know.
Yeah, that's all it means. I thought it was an actual thing. No, it's not. It's just like a cover-all word.
Any matter that we can't define, right? And there's so much of that. It's just, to me, it's insane that people would be like, oh, yeah, this guy in the 50s figured it all out. We're good.
Figured it all out. We're done.
Whatever he said, make sure that whatever you think, it matches completely with what he said. Like, that makes no fucking sense.
When human civilization has gone on so far beyond, like, past that. Yeah. It's like it took you that long to just figure that out.
And
now you figured it out. You're good.
So many people who are blindly follow that will say like, oh, you got to question the morality of religion, but don't question science.
Yeah, it's like, exactly.
Question everything, bro.
Yes.
Everything. Literally everything.
And science is just questions anyways.
I mean, some things are, the earth is round, right? Gravity does exist. All that shit is real. So don't, but it's like, as far as, I don't know, man.
I don't know how the elements work.
Deeper than that, I guess you can accept what we know as fact and also leave room for stuff we don't know yet. That's the trick, right? You know what I mean? Leave room, leave space.
Yeah.
Believe if it's provable, but leave space.
Because you don't know what's coming next. To that next shit.
Because we could find a mummy of a fucking tridactyl reptilian humanoid, and it could throw our evolutionary ideas into orbit. You know, that's what it's done for me. And I don't understand why people won't just embrace it. I don't get it.
Different. I think it's because I think it's because it would be a civilization on our marks. I think if it was a lesser form, then I don't think humans would have a problem with it. It's the fact that it is advanced enough.
It's too humanoid for people.
It's too humanoid. It's too like uncanny valley style for us.
It could be.
On like a cultural, evolutionary wise. I mean, we do not as humans have a great history of being accepting of other sentient species of any kind.
It is kind of coded into our DNA to want to be the center of the earth, huh?
Yeah.
And make sure
like
that we're
center of attention. I mean, have you been on fucking Insta? Like, that's 100%. That's it. But you know what I mean, though? It's like, I think if they were less advanced, we wouldn't have an issue. But even if they were, it's just having another species that was as advanced as us. Doesn't even have to be around anymore. That's what fuck everybody up. They're like, what? We're not the best in the world? Someone's already done this shit?
Someone already existed.
Somebody already existed that had fucking cooler shit than us?
The thing is, we know that about Neanderthals.
Yeah,
and
we know
everyone is fine with it. Yeah. Neanderthals are not humans. They existed at the same time as humans. They had societies. They died out and we won the war. Why are we totally fine with that? But why can't we fathom perhaps a reptilian culture that could have done the same thing? They could even still not be here. But perhaps they died out around the same time.
We can't bang it then. Because we can't bang
Especially
it.
the Ice Age. Because we can't fuck it.
We can't fuck it.
Dude, you know one of the
You know that's
that's
why. That's a fucking base shit right there.
I know.
Fucking lizard and shit.
Remember Jay and Silent Bob? I always quote Jay and Silent Bob, and I feel like everybody, I'm going to be the first person to find an alien life. Fuck it. The one thing about the Tridactyls that's really cool that I want to say just before we end this is that if you look at the skeletons, they have these sort of 3 indentations on like right here along their line, which is very similar to what snakes have, which snakes use to, snakes can see infrared.
Yeah. As a sensor.
They have like the same marking. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very
That is
cool.
interesting.
They see an infrared and are cold-blooded and are completely Anyway. The other one I always quote is, "Hey baby, you ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in a overcoat?"
Interdimensional travel for the DL with Devin and Lisa provided by Limited Intel. Limited Intel. With their no anal fee, you can rest assured that your data is in incompetent hands.